Yo, welcome back. I'm Claysthetics, and today we released the Bankai on Gundam Evolution and accidentally destroyed the server in the process, I guess, so sorry about that. But before we get started, I do have to thank all you guys. I've been gaining a ton of subscribers over the past few days from the Gundam video, so thank you again so much for that. And I basically upload every single day now, so if you're new, subscribe. I've been nothing but hype for Gundam Evo. And before I forget, I'm doing a giveaway for a base battle pass this week for one subscriber that comments hashtag ZERKERGANG in the comments down below. And this video is actually just a couple things that they need to get sorted out fairly soon, I would say. So lighting this off, you already know we have to start with our favorite people. The ones that say if I don't have a problem, that means it doesn't exist. Wait, why can't I move?
It's time to stop!
I don't know what to tell people that just close their eyes and pretend there's no problems. It's unhealthy, like what happens if you walk into a wall thicker than your skull. And don't get this twisted at all. I actually do really love Gundam Evo when I can play, but this isn't my first rodeo with an Eastern game. Like, Gundam Evolution already has mixed reviews on Steam. Like, the casuals are not happy. Like, the new people coming into the game are not happy. Like, there's way too many issues, and like we're gonna go over a bunch of them. But if you followed me for a long time, you know I've played all these games from Korea, China, and Japan, and somehow they've never managed to learn from each other at all, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And when they show up in the West, they end up with the surprise Pikachu face, like, oh my god, we're so popular. We never thought that we would have had to build a real server when we had videos that were getting like 300,000 plus views on a beta for just gameplay. Who would have known? Who would have thought we ended up with more than 10,000 players? Like, give me a break, bro. This has happened with so many games recently. Like, you knew better, you were just cheap. Then you go look at something like Overwatch or Valorant. I mean, Overwatch sucks, but like Valorant's not that laggy. I'm just saying. You can do it. You just have to do better. And honestly, Amazon just had two games that they cheaped out on, and it's absolutely butchering. New World and Lost Ark. Garbage servers, mismanagement, and just terrible communication. It was the fall of both of those games, and Lost Ark was actually just a massive L across the board from Amazon, but this is a Gundam video. We talked about Lost Ark way too many times already. And I actually want to see this game do well. Like, if anyone that's publishing this game is in the right headspace, they'll just Google the launch and problems of any Eastern ported game and just avoid those issues. Or just Google what went wrong with New World and just avoid every single thing they did, and you'll be just fine. It's actually just that simple. Because as much as you might think people might sit around and wait to play with their friends when the game somehow allows them to come play or get online, that only lasts like 2 weeks, man, and then they just bounce. We've literally got 2 weeks for Bandai to figure it out, or we lose probably the only decent game that's even come out this year. Like, think about it. Every other game that we have right now is just peen in NA. And a lot of people were asking me to play Call of Duty, and I'm not sure I want to subject myself to Activision's wonderful treatment of their players or the game that's coming out for the second time 10 years later. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe. We'll see. Because as far as Bandai's handled their issues, which is basically just restarting the server every time too many people get online and it starts lagging out and crashing, I don't really know what to say about that other than looking at this really pitiful minor amount of communication webpage looking into some issues. We know what the issues are. I can tell you. I just told you what the issues are. The server's peen. Upgrade it. It's that easy. Like, we don't have to think about it. Stop being cheap. That's it. Like, taking the servers down to fix them is a solid start, but they have to be working on upgrading them. There's a massive demand for this game, and a lot of people love the Gundam universe, me included. And I know it pissed a lot of the lore masters off in the tier list by saying frame instead of mobile suit. So going forward, I'll probably forget to do that anyway, so sorry about that in advance. And if you're hard addicted to the game like me, you can actually just swap servers when NA and EU keep going down. We can just go over to JP or whatever, as long as the main hub's online. And I heard a lot of people like me just swapped over to JP and we're just playing on there during our downtimes anyways. It just doesn't work if the entire game's down. So it was just really funny reading the Steam forums. Like, let's go crash the JP servers until they fix ours. And it was a good group effort because it ended up working out. Because this game, honestly, has a lot of everything that I've wanted in this type of hero shooter Overwatch hybrid deal for a long time. And it being Gundams is just icing on the cake. So I really do hope they sort the server issues out. And it just sucks for you that your game's actually good and too many people want to play it. So respect your players and do what you know needs to be done. And with what you're not going to fix, I'll try to, because this thing has been pissing a ton of people off because they don't know how to change their pilot's voice. And the current default female pilot's voice sounds like the screaming, dying girls in Battlefield 2042. And it's just awful, just ear torture So I'm not even going to play a clip of that because it's just pure agony. So to fix this nonsense, you just go into the unit on the main page and flip through all the voices if you want to. This is just the best way to save your ears. But at the same time, it made me start thinking, am I going to have to buy a Mika's voice pack for Barbatos? Because I will. I don't care. I just need some of that heat voice acting. I was genuinely disappointed when we didn't have voice actors at least show up for this. But I guess it might be kind of expensive. I don't really know, honestly. It would just be something that so many people would love and enjoy. I really hope it's actually going to end up coming to the game. And if anybody knows how to grab the Japanese files or whatever from the other regions, like the voice files, and if we can port them over to the NA client, like, let me know. That would be absolutely fire if we could get something like that done, or just get Bandai to just add those files to our version so that we could just flip over to them so that we had, well, something better than we have now. But on the topic of voice stuff, I'm not a VTuber in VR chat flailing my arms around to communicate in game. It's just not going to happen. It might happen in the video, but it's not happening in game. What really sucks in game is not having voice chat. But for some reason, you can spam emotes to piss people off instead of screaming into their ears. And honestly, I think it's more annoying than somebody screaming into the mic. Like, the Spurg screams are just magic. It makes my day every single time, and, like, it's just funny. The main issue I have is there's a voice chat already, but it's only available to pre-made parties, and it automatically puts you in a silent voice room when you join a game solo that you can't hear anything in, but you also can't leave. You're just stuck in a void, an abyss by yourself. It's just ridiculous that this kind of limp decision was made for people that don't like VoIP, because those people just turn it off anyways, like they do on Overwatch, Paladins, Valorant, whatever it might be. And they get called toxic for not wanting to communicate with their team. They're just a non-factor. Having a voice chat makes a massive difference, especially in a game that's so team-based. Like, how are you supposed to meet new friends on the game to party up and vibe with when you can't even type, bro? Literally anything, because it's all censored. Why is have censored or preview? It's just ridiculous. But someone could sure space the words out and type them no problem. So, like, it's the most aggressive and worthless chat filter I've ever seen in my entire life. You have no VoIP and you can't communicate in chat. They literally want us to emote at each other like some sort of anime. And while you might be a legendary mobile suit from an anime, so is everybody else in the lobby, and you're not getting anything done alone, let alone in an organized lobby, which is another huge issue. Being able to launch stacks of 6 into pure random groups in even casual is toxic, let alone ranked, which is just ridiculous, by the way. Like, if you've been watching some Twitch streams, they'll intentionally lose around to farm random solo queuers even more to pad their stats. And any game we've ever played either ends up removing this because it's insanely toxic and not fun, or dies because it's insanely toxic and not fun. Like, figure it out. This is nothing new to a game like this. If you can pre-made queue and just smash solo queuers, they're just not going to play, bro. You're pre-made at all, it should be a separate queue. And the kids that abuse it and farm the people to the point that they realize it's a bad game and they end up quitting, and then they leave a bad review on Steam because they're like, well, I got farmed by a pre-made and I couldn't talk to my team. Like, if solo queuers had voice, they would have a much better chance at winning, because a lot of these guys that are pre-made queuing really aren't that good to begin with. It's just, when you even coordinate a little bit in this game, it makes it really easy to win, because you already know, like, there's a voice in game. So it's super easy to communicate if you're just in a party, but those people are already in Discord or whatever. So if you're with a bunch of randoms with no voice, the people in voice have that insane advantage and have to be so unbelievably terrible to lose that it's not even realistic. We have a long way to go with Gundam Evolution. I'm just hoping they can make all the changes they need to. Forced to play Call of Duty, man. And yes, this is the flashbang.